Commander Replay, Krav and Regna look to do some redeeming. Through self-sacrifice, can they save the souls of Ravos, Thrasios, Grimgrin, and Okaun Zndrsplt? Find out next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, I want to take a quick second to thank my Patreon supporters. We have a new Patreon supporter, Adam Session. Adam's been a longtime subscriber of the channel. Adam, you're awesome. If you guys want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Regna the Redeemer, partnered with Krav the Unredeemed. Take a look at the opening hand. Ooh. Mana Crypt Signet is a really fast start, but we have only... Ooh, we have a Scry land. Alright, we're gonna try it. Let's keep... the only reason I'm keeping this is a very risky hand, is because we have a Scry with this Temple of Silence. And if we can Scry our way into another land, we should be off to a pretty fast start. Plus, if we get Mentor of the Meek down, we should be able to start drawing cards pretty easily. So I think we might be able to make this work. But normally I would mulligan a hand like this. One land and a bunch of mana rocks is very risky. Anyway, so today's deck was voted on by the Patreons, and these are the Battle Bond commanders that Patreons wanted to see most. So that's what we're running out here today. And this deck list comes from one of my Patreons, Birchie84. They posted their deck list, and I took a look through it. It turned out to be basically exactly the deck that I was planning to build, so I figured I'd just run it out here. I made 2 changes. There was a lot of mana ramp in the deck. I took out 2 pieces of mana ramp just to run 2 additional board wipes. If you're running black and white, I feel like you got to be running a lot of board wipes. So really just 2 kind of preference changes, but all the cards in the deck look fantastic. So really excited to give this thing a try, and so not getting punished just yet. We draw land on our first turn, which is fantastic. We are going last this game, so keeping this Mana Crypt definitely going to help offset a little bit of the problems of going last. Anyway, let's lay down the Temple, see what's coming. It's an Eily. Let's put that to the bottom. I think we want to keep trying to make land drops. Play the Mana Crypt, play the Signet, and pass the turn. Next turn, I'll probably go Mentor of the Meek. That way we can play Tessa the following turn and make sure that we get a card draw, just because I want to keep hitting those land drops. The way a hand like this can lose is by not making your land drops and someone throwing down an Austere Command or a Vandal Blast and blowing up all of the artifacts. It's a thing that happens. But anyway, I really like Birchie's deck list. Everything looked really on point. Anyway, let's take a look at who we're facing today. We are facing off against Thrasios Triton Hero, partnered with Ravos Soul Tender. So potentially some sort of creature, either tokeny creature or reanimate creature kind of thing with crazy value from Thrasios. Thrasios is a little bit too good. All of which could have been prevented if they just put like some colored mana in that activated ability. Next up, we have a Grimgrin Corpseborn. There's one you don't see a ton of anymore. But it enters the battlefield tapped, doesn't untap during your untap step. Sacrifice a creature to untap it, put a +1/+1 counter on it when you do. And whenever Grimgrin attacks, destroy target creature defending player controls, then put a +1/+1 counter on Grimgrin. So, cool little commander. Cares a lot about sacking your own stuff and killing opponent's stuff, which are 2 themes that I can get down with. Anyway, that's going to bring it back to our turn. We have a Mana Crypt flipping us. Let's go Tails. Lost the flip. We draw not a land. Not the best. Gonna play the Flooded Strand. We have 5 mana this turn. How much are our commanders? That one's 6. That one's 5. Huh. Maybe we just jam a commander this turn. Yeah, let's do that. Crack the Flooded Strand. Get a Scrubland. Play Krav. So Krav coming into play, and it will partner. Well, there's a windfall, so good chance that we'll get no lands. Ooh. Well, we do have Soul Ring Sun Titan, which can get back this Flooded Strand, which is probably a thing that I'll do. Actually, I think we're still 1 mana short of that plan. But we do have this Skull Clamp. We have some ways that we can do some card drawing here. So if we can get Sun Titan to stick around, though, we have a handful of good things to bring back with Sun Titan. We have this Tessa. We have the Mentor of the Meek. Can't get back that Anointed Procession. Kind of wish we still had that. And also the land. And I'm a big fan of getting lands with Sun Titan. I know things like Tessa and Mentor are probably a bit more exciting, but having just accelerating lands is so important in Commander. As a Boros player where you typically struggle with mana ramp, especially non-artifact based mana ramp, even getting like 2 or 3 additional lands with Sun Titan is really, really big and has a huge impact on how much you can do in your later turns. Oh, our final opponent, by the way, is Okaun, Eye of Chaos, partnered with Zndrsplt, Eye of Wisdom. We'll take a look at these since they are new Battle Bond commanders. Okaun is 4 and a red for a 3/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, flip a coin until you lose a flip. Whenever a player wins a coin flip, double Okaun's power and toughness until end of turn. Pretty good. This thing gets huge. I mean, like 200 power, 600 power, huge, very quickly. And then Zndrsplt, Eye of Wisdom, is at the beginning of combat on your turn, flip a coin until you lose a flip. Whenever a player wins a coin flip, draw a card. So this deck draws cards and makes a really, really big attacker pretty easily. And you start throwing things like Unblockable on Okaun, it becomes a real problem. Anyway, that's going to bring it back to our turn. There's a Mana Crypt flip. Won the flip. Land? Tap land. We'll play the tap land. Do we go Soul's Attendant, Skull Clamp? Yeah, I think we do. Get the Soul Ring down. Opponents are tapped out. So play the Skull Clamp. Play Soul's Attendant. Equip the Skull Clamp. Why didn't we draw? Oh, it got exiled when it... Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that a Kalitas came down, and because Soul's Attendant got exiled, we do not get to draw. Ooh, that is pretty rough. Well, I guess put Skull Clamp on here. Get down to some attacking then. Wow, that turn went horribly wrong. So, gonna hit the Okaun Zndrsplt opponent for 4. They go down to 34 and take 4 commander damage. Also, they have Lightning Greaves out now, so yeah, haste is bad with Okaun. So, actually, we haven't even looked at our commander's ability yet. So, Krav the Unredeemed, 5 and a black, as a Eyeless Watcher comes down for our opponent, makes some Scions. So Krav the Redeemed, 5 and a black for a 3/3. It's got a Skull Clamp on it right now, so its power and toughness has changed. But pay a black to sacrifice X creatures. Target player draws X cards and gains X life. Put X +1/+1 counters on Krav. Very solid. And then Regna the Redeemer is 5 and a white for a 4/4 flying. At the beginning of each end step, if your team gain life this turn, create 2/1/1 white warrior creature tokens. So yeah, you kind of see the idea here. So you sacrifice a creature, you draw some cards, you gain some life, and then at your end turn, you're going to make some tokens, and then you kind of just keep doing that. And yeah, kind of excited to see where things are going to go. We've got a pretty good setup. I would love to keep making some land drops. A little disappointed about that play last turn. That was not great. And Grimgrin looks like they're on the zombie tribal plan. They do have Kalitas to exile stuff and make zombie tokens. And they're going to go swing at the Thrasios Ravos opponent. Always a good plan. So we have some interesting choices. We can either get Regna down. Uh-oh, that's a Bajuka Bog. Don't be us, don't be us, don't be us, don't be us. Not us! All right. Going after the 4-color partnered opponent. Nice. So a bunch of their stuff gets exiled. Rolling Horror, Cradle of Vitality, Rally the Ancestors, Mentor of the Meek, Pawn of Ulamog, and Yisan. Yeah, it looks like a pretty crazy deck. A lot of good cards in there. Rolling Horror is an interesting one, though. It's not one you see a ton of. There's a Okaun. It's going to come down with haste. The other thing, too, if we get down this Divine Visitation and just plus with Elspeth, that'll be really good. So Okaun does not get any power doubling. Gonna swing back into us. Sure. It's going to bring it back to our turn. Mana Crypt flip. Go heads. Lost the flip. Ether Flux Reservoir. It's 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. We have 8 mana. Unfortunately, if we start sacking things with this Kalitas out... Yeah, sacking things with Kalitas out just means that they're going to get exiled, and I don't love what that means. I'm going to go with Divine Visitation right here. I'm kind of interested to... but if we draw a land next turn, we can go Ether Flux Reservoir, Divine Visitation. Okay. Yeah, let's play one of our 6-drops. I'm not going to go with the Sun Titan just because if things get blown up, they're all going to get exiled, and I don't love what that means. With the 4-color opponent, I'm expecting some type of removal in that deck, so we'll go like this for now. And should someone play any removal, we can sack both our creatures and do some card drawing, which I like. We'll just kind of stay put for... we probably should have attacked into the 4-color opponent. Whoops. Although they could have killed it with tokens, that's not ideal. But Whispering Madness. So we're about to lose all the cool cards in our hand. So it appears to be a wheel deck. There's the lands we've been looking for and the mana ramp, but now we don't have a lot going on in hand. Looks like we'll need to get into the card draw. So yeah, now I think it's going to be kill the 4-color opponent, because wheel decks are annoying. Assumingly, they're also looking for some kind of combo. So opponent going to swing again. Looks like we're going to get wheeled again. Probably look at another new hand. So here comes the Cypher. Going to Whispering Madness again. A little better. We got a land and some actual things that do stuff, so that's cool. There's a Living Death in the graveyard. Yeah, this is some kind of wacky wheel and reanimate deck with God knows what else in it. A lot of lands in their graveyard. We should actually have enough mana to get... I think actually we can cast everything in our hand this coming turn. I believe that'll tap us out, which means we won't be able to hold up that sacrifice ability. There's a Mind Crank. That's fun. Always got to worry about the other half of that combo. There are, I believe, 2 cards that do it. Active Blood Chief Ascension, and it's like a Guild Mage or something that does it, I think. At least as far as I'm aware.
Perhaps anyone that plays Mindcrank in Modern might know. So we've got a good look at a lot of the cards in the deck. We unfortunately have most of them wheeled away. I was really excited about the Elspeth Divine Visitation plan. That seemed really cool. There's an Undead Alchemist. Surprisingly, Grimgrin hasn't come down yet. I probably would have gone for Grimgrin personally, but opponent's going to swing with the Kalitas and the Lord of the Accursed. And a zombie token, all at the 4-color opponent. Sure. 4-color opponent, probably not going to make too many friends with the constant wheels going off. Going to block with a Scion, block with a Scion. There's a Read the Ruins. That's a card I used to run in my old Reanimator. Nowadays, there are much better ways to draw and discard. Opponent's going to get hit and mill a couple cards. Looks like 1 card, maybe 2. Can't tell. Oh, it might have been a creature that also got exiled. Yeah, so I think it should have been 2 damage. And I think 1 got exiled. If none would die, no, if milling shouldn't exile it. Yeah, who knows? I don't know what happened. There's a Mana Vault. Opponent taps their Ancient Tomb, and that's gonna mill them 2 off the Mindcrank. Same thing will happen if we lose the flip on Mana Crypt. So Undead Alchemist spitting out an army of zombies. Mog Assassin. There's one you don't see. Oh, it's a flip a coin card. Yep, that'd be why. It is exiled though, so we will not be seeing that. Here comes Zndrsplt. Let the coin flipping begin. The 4-color opponent has no blockers, so if the flips go the right way for the Okaun opponent, they might be taking someone out of the game. So here comes some coin flips, and looks like it's going to be 2 triggers of each. So Okaun a 12-12. Yep, swinging into the 4-color opponent. Mindcrank's going to trigger, so they're also going to mill a bunch. They go down to 22, 12 commander from the Okaun. And a bunch more Undead Alchemist triggers. Pretty large army of zombies over there. Fiery Gambit. Uh-oh. Flip a coin until you lose a flip or choose to stop flipping. If you lose a flip, Fiery Gambit has no effect. If you win 1 or more flips, deals 3 damage to target creature. If you win 2 or more flips. Why'd they play that after combat? Oh, card draw maybe? Got another flip a coin card in play. Definitely want to leave some blockers up on that Okaun. If they find any of the unblockable cards, Rogue's Passage or Whisper Silk Cloak, can be in trouble. Let's go Tails. We won the flip. Oh, and apparently our Mana Crypt will trigger the Zndrsplt and Okaun. We draw a Wrath of God. That seems like it probably needs to happen. So let's play the land. Play the Thought Vessel. That's one of the cards that I added in. If you're playing black and white, you don't want to leave home without a few board wipes in hand. Yeah. So this Wrath of God is going to be very, very helpful. I think if we sacrifice, if we pay 1 and sacrifice both of our commanders first, that'll probably be a pretty good idea. We should swing first is actually what we should do. Okay, so now we got the sequencing down. Let's go to combat. Send everything into the 4-color opponent. They're going to get hit with a bunch of Mindcrank triggers. Now have 28 cards in their graveyard. They're down to 14 life. Let us sacrifice our... Do that. Sacrifice both creatures. So sacrifice those guys. We'll get to draw some cards. Cool. Play the Wrath of God. So all but 2 to... Oh, yeah, okay. So the Wrath of God triggers the Kalitas. Kalitas gets 2 zombie tokens back. Not too bad. The million zombie tokens they had before that, much scarier. So anyway, that leaves us with 3 mana, exactly enough. We can look at the Ophiomancer down, actually, since that's a card we need to untap with to really be effective. So we'll lay that down. Next turn, we can start thinking about this Phyrexian Altar and this Crested Sunmare, and that seems like a pretty good place to be. You can also do some stuff with that Phyrexian Tower. Oh, it's each upkeep. Huh, who knew? Thought it was the beginning of our upkeep. Card that I don't play with very often. So yeah, that's why I like having a couple board wipes, even if you're a deck that runs something like Grave Pact or any of the Grave Pact type effects. Sometimes it's just nice and clean to just have something that gets everything. Choose an opponent. You and that player each sacrifice a creature. Each player who sacrificed a creature this way draws 2 cards. Choose an opponent, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then that player returns a creature card from their graveyard to the battlefield. Interesting card. Can't decide if that's good or not. Chooses the zombie opponent. Looks like maybe trying to make friends with the zombie opponent. Tough to know. Orcish Captain coming back into play. You pay 1 to flip a coin. That's pretty good in that deck. They can spend all their extra mana for all the coin flips. The question on my mind now is I'd like to get this Crested Sunmare down, but I need to figure out how we're going to gain some life. Recasting both of our commanders is going to be very expensive, but it may be what we have to do. Let's do a little mana check. Temple of Deceit comes down. Opponent's going to get a scry. We have 10 mana in play currently, 11 when we lay down this Phyrexian Tower. It'll be 7 to recast Krav, and then 5 for the Sunmare, so that'd be 12. So we'll be a little bit short of doing that. We could sacrifice Phyrexian Tower. We could use the Phyrexian Tower, then we'd have to sacrifice the one thing that we want. at the beginning of each end step. Maybe we could do it on our opponent's turn? We might be able to make this work. No, that's still 12, I think. So even if we did that, yeah, we'd be 1 mana short of doing all the things I just talked about. In that case, I'm thinking maybe cast Regna, use the Skull Clamp. Yeah, cast Regna, use the Skull Clamp might be the right call. Mind Crank for our opponent. Also, a Diregraph Colossus came down. It's an 8/8 based on the number of things in the graveyard. And whenever you cast a zombie spell, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Seems pretty good. This is about the best I've seen a Grimgrin deck perform. A lot of times I see Grimgrin decks just do a lot of nothing. Fairly common occurrence. Maybe I just haven't seen good ones, which is probably the case. But yeah, opponent had a very sizable board state before we laid down the board wipe. And if no board wipes, they were probably going to start taking people out of the game. So Zndrsplt coming back to play. Going to put the boots on Zndrsplt. Sure. And here comes the coin flip. So bring it back to our turn. There's a Mana Crypt flip. Go tails. Won the flip. So Zndrsplt gets to draw a card again. There's a Dictate of Ravos. All right then. Play this Phyrexian Tower. I think we have exactly enough to play Regna. Regna will be 8 mana. No, we're not going to have enough. Bummer. Well, all right. So in that case, I think it's going to be Dictate changes things. Our opponents like almost have to answer Dictate, otherwise they will do nothing. And I kind of like the way that sounds. So play Dictate. We're going to hit with the Cabal one time from the 4-color opponent. That'll also trigger the Mind Crank. A lot of wacky stuff going on this game. We lose Endrixar and Utter End. Utter End is one that is always helpful to have around. All right, let's try the Skull Clamp again, and hopefully things don't go terribly wrong like they did last time. So Skull Clamp's going to trigger, Dictate's going to trigger. Each opponent's going to have to sacrifice. We get to draw. Enlightened Tutor land. We could get the horse down this turn. We could either get the horse, or we could get Phyrexian Altar with Skull Clamp on Ophiomancer. If we get the Altar down, we can sacrifice the Ophiomancer at instant speed, which will trigger the Dictate if we need to. I like that plan. So let's do that. Play the Phyrexian Altar. Put the Skull Clamp on the Ophiomancer, just in case. And pass the turn like that. Feeling pretty good about things. We can also Enlighten Tutor and then use the Skull Clamp to draw into that card. Don't know what we'll need to get. Would really like to get some life gain going for the Crested Sunmare. I've had some trouble with that. So we get another Snake token off the Ophiomancer. Lifecrafter's Bestiary coming down for the 4-color opponent. Blood Artist coming down. That'll be fun. That'll gain them some life back. I don't plan to sack right away. If no one attacks us, then I don't plan to have to use the Dictate and sack our stuff. I'd like to kind of keep our board set up a little bit by the time it... Oh, I guess... There's a Relentless Dead. Fun card. Though I guess we would get a new Snake token. Yeah, maybe I should have sacked in response to that, but I feel okay. Opponents are all fairly low on cards, which is good. Zndrsplt has the most at 4 cards. The other opponents have 3 and 2. Okay, so opponent's going to swing with the Diregraph into the 4-color opponent. Sure. Yeah, I don't feel the need just yet to kind of wipe the board from everyone since no one's really targeting us. Opponent's going to block with the Blood Artist. Sure. Yeah, maybe it's time to start sacking the snakes. So, sacrifice a creature. Not going to cast the Enlightened Tutor just yet, just in case of another wheel effect from the Okaun opponent. So opponent sacrifices the Relentless Dead, and they can pay mana to get it back to their hand. And if they do, they can pay more mana to get another creature back. It can be Death Baron, sure. Yeah, I do like the fact that we went for that Phyrexian Altar. Looks like it's going to take a little bit of work to whittle our way through the zombie army with the sacrifice triggers, so getting Regna down is going to be a really good idea this turn. Like I said, wait on the Enlightened Tutor. So we'll get a new Snake token. Sweet. Opponent untaps their Mana Vault. We really want a life gain card of some kind. That'll start triggering our Crested Sunmare and also Regna, which I think Regna is how we're going to win this game. We're just going to have to make a ton of 1/1 White Warrior creature tokens. One thing we have to be careful of, there are blue opponents at the table. A Cyclonic Rift would be backbreaking to us because we've been relying heavily on the mana rocks. Mystic Retrieval, looking at a Muddle the Mixture. The zombie opponent scoops. Opponent's going to transmute with Muddle the Mixture. It's a Krark's Thumb. Fun. Krark's Thumb coming down. No need to sacrifice, no creatures in play. Mana Crypt's going to flip. And we'll go tails. Oh, I should have... make sure we put a stop on our upkeep. Whew. Almost messed up the Enlightened Tutor. Wow. We'll have 1 less mana because of it, though. So play the Enlightened Tutor. Need to find some life gain. Whip of Erebos. Pretty good life gain. Also gets our Sun Titan some other shenanigans. I like Whip of Erebos quite a bit. Get the Whip. play our land. So now we've got lifelink. Going to swing into the 4-color opponent. We will gain some life. They go down to 16. Let's get our Crested Sunmare down. Now we should be getting some horses. So we gain life. There's an indestructible horse. Boom. All right, now we got some attacking power. Opponent's going to hide away with Windbrisk Heights. Sure. Liliana's Contract. Nice. Haven't seen demons, have we? Rides of Dark Realms in the graveyard. Yeah, I haven't really seen any demons in their deck. Strange. Suture Priest coming down. Here's a Locust God. That's a good card. Stretching time. If you win the flip, take a turn after this one. Opponent going blind. Oh, they'll get 2 shots at it. Did they win the flip? Yep, they're going to take an extra turn. Opponent's going to use the Locust God ability. I'm thinking no on that. Phyrexian Altar, sacrifice this snake token. Opponent's going to respond and do it again. Yeah, I'll sacrifice a horse too. Sacrifice the horse. So Locust God down. It'll go back to the hand at the beginning of the next end step. Locust God comes back. Ophiomancer's going to make another snake. Locust God coming back. This one's going to be harder. Going to put the boots on the Locust God. Sure. Opponent's going to attack with the Locust God. Ooh, fancy. So by sacking, even though it won't die, they'll have to save it by using 4 mana. And 4 mana means that they're not doing other stuff. So we're going to sacrifice a snake token. Not going to go with the Crested Sunmare, though. We definitely want to keep that around. So opponent pays 4 to do that, and now they've got, what, 5 mana left? So, you know, that really does cut down the amount of things that they can actually do. So we take the hit, we go down to 27, and there's a Sakashima, the Imposter. Ooh, copying the Locust God? Copying the Ophiomancer. Interesting. So we're going to have to do a bit of sacrificing in order to take down what the Zndrsplt opponent has going on. So Mana Crypt flip on us, 2 Ophiomancer triggers, 1 for us, 1 for our opponent. Mana Crypt flips. Let's go heads. Lost the flip. Ooh, losing a lot of those flips. There's a Plains. Play the Plains. So I think we want Regna in play. She's going to be, what, 8? We're going to get the Sun Titan back, because that'll give us some nice value. So Sun Titan coming down. Let's get the Tessa. Seems like a pretty good plan. And now we can go pretty crazy with the sacrificing. I'm going to move the Skull Clamp over to this snake. Actually, check on our mana first. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay. We have enough to get our Regna back. So move that over to the snake. Actually, first, let's go to combat. Just make sure we take the 4-color opponent out of the game right here. Go. Let's get the Mentor of the Meek. Yep, all right. Opponent's going to scoop it. So Mentor of the Meek is down. Damage hits. We gain the life. That's important. Recast Regna. Partnered opponent, not going to do much. I'm going to click yes just to see what happens. For science. Okay, yeah. So it's only from the library, which makes sense if you're playing actual Battle Bond, which we are not. All right, so we got a bunch of triggers on the stack right here. Whip of Erebos can try to exile the Sun Titan. Regna's going to make some tokens. Crested Sunmare is going to make a token. I think also, I'm pretty sure, does this go infinite? Like if we sacrifice a black, well, it doesn't go infinite per se, but should still get a lot of token value. Sacrifice a snake token. Tessa will make a 1/1 white flyer. Opponent will have to sacrifice. Tessa triggers. Mentor of the Meek will trigger. Hey, we have 1 floating. How about that? Draw with Mentor of the Meek. It's a land. Crested Sunmare will trigger. We need to sacrifice the Sun Titan. I think it still gets exiled, but, you know, might as well get value from it, right? Up goes the exile. Okay, it doesn't count as dying. Unfortunate. Sacrifice this 1/1 white flyer. We'll need to sacrifice... Oh, and there's some tokens. We can draw... Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got the machine gun going now. We draw an Urborg. We draw another land. And opponent's going to scoop it up right here. Yep. I was playing through that kind of slowly, so I don't blame them. But at some point, yes, they would just sacrifice everything, and they would not be able to really have creatures in play without wiping our board first. So, yeah. Krav and Regna. Pretty sweet little black-white life gain deck with a lot of sacrifice shenanigans. If sacrificing tokens and gaining life and all that kind of stuff is your game, then this is a cool deck for you. Like I said, I added in 2 additional board wipes, one of which came in really handy in this game, in that Wrath of God, because we weren't quite set up to really get the machine gun going with Dictate of Erebos yet, so... But otherwise, fantastic deck provided by Patreon supporter Birchie84, so can't say enough about it. The land count looks good, the mana ramp count looks good, all the interactions look very, very good, so really sweet looking deck. If you guys want to check out the list, I'll actually link you to his deck list page. If you want to send him some love, feel free to do that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.